Okay. Did you know what was going to happen?
What?
Did you know what was going to happen?
I thought they were just going to smoke the blacks. I didn't know that something that bad was going to happen.
Finally, Connor had started to talk, but something felt off. If Makia's death was truly an accident, it's hard to fathom why Connor didn't call the police to report the incident. Connor had yet again lied to the police, or at the very least he was leaving something important out. And as the detectives would soon discover, his story took a dark and unexpected turn.
Have you seen it before?
I'd seen it in the truck the day before.
Mm-hmm. What kind of gun was it?
It's like a 6-shot revolver. I don't really know the model or anything.
Did he ever tell you what kind of Magnum it was? If it was a 38, a 357, a 44, a 45?
I think it was a 44 Magnum.
A 44 Magnum?
Mm-hmm.
Did he say where he got it?
No.
Was it his uncle's?
Not that I know of. His uncle wouldn't let him leave with a gun.
Okay. How many times did you see him with a gun before that?
Just that one time the day before. And I saw it when he was talking to Caleb Hill and showed Caleb Hill that gun.
Okay. So you knew that Caleb had seen it too?
Yeah, I saw it the same time I walked up when Caleb was looking at it. Yeah.
Okay.
Say that right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 say yeah, I like that, bring that right here, say sit that right there, don't go nowhere, say yeah, I like that, bring that right here, say sit that right there, don't go nowhere.
We back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to part 2 of Killer Classmates Realized. One of them told the truth. We're getting rid of snitching in 2025. This is a Detective Williams video. Let's get right into it.
He said it was an accident on the first shot.
No, we're not talking about the first shot.
I know. I'm talking about the second one.
Did you ask him why he fired the second shot?
And that was the only reason I could guess. I didn't ask him why he fired the second shot.
Did you ask him why he fired the second shot?
No, but the only reason I could think of was to if she was alive and she did get to the paramedics, she was fine.
Did she tell on him?
Yeah, something like that, where he wanted to cover his trail or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You know what he did with the gun?
Throughout this time, Connor maintained that he had nothing to do with what happened to Makia, but the detectives still couldn't understand why Connor was present at the scene, unless he had a part to play.
I understand that.
Nobody is a better witness to what happened that day than you. Are you sure you didn't pull the trigger?
I'm positive I didn't pull the trigger. I have no gun. He's not going to shoot her in the head and then hand me a gun to shoot her in the head.
Why would he not?
Well, if he wants you to be a part of it, so that she won't tell.
Why would I step in
Well, we're
that
trying to understand
situation?
why he shot her. Why did he kill her?
Yes, I don't really know, and I can't honestly.
Did you ask him why?
No, I never asked him anything. He said it was an accident, and I was like, whatever, just get back to the school as quick as you can.
You got a gun, I don't.
He said, all right, just don't say anything about it. Nothing's ever going to come of it. Nothing's ever going to get brought up.
Did you think it was going to go away?
I wanted to get away from him. He drove off after I got out.
Did you think this was going to go away?
I knew it was probably going to surface eventually, but not like that.
Does it bother you?
Yeah, it's bothered me daily. I've got 4 hours of sleep since it happened.
Did you tell your mom?
No.
She doesn't know that.
She doesn't know anything. How about your dad?
No, nobody.
Have you talked to anybody? When's the last time you talked to him?
Charles?
Mm-hmm.
I seen him today at school, and then.
Did you talk to him?
Just waved past him.
No, did you talk to him about what happened?
No, nothing about what happened. I haven't talked to him since.
Did he talk to you about what to say to us?
No.
Since it happened?
This time, Connor tries to explain how Makia was undoubtedly executed, insisting that only Charles had pulled the trigger, but somehow throughout his account, he remained cold and monotone, acting indifferent and unresponsive. The detectives noticed this and soon returned with a dummy gun, determined to force Connor to reveal the details he seemed to be trying so hard to hide.
When the first shot goes off, is he beside her or in front of her?
He's directly beside her.
Directly beside her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was standing,
if I'm a kid and I'm standing here,
he was not this far away. He wasn't far at all.
And did you see the gun? Was it still raised when you looked back and he had shot?
No, it was dropped down by his side.
Was he right or left-handed?
I think he's right-handed.
So the gun was down that side?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And she falls?
She was like immediately falls. It wasn't like a slow-mo. It was like,
She's boom, down.
Mhm.
Okay, did she land on her back or her side?
Gravity.
I want to say her side, but
Toward him or away from him?
towards him, I think.
Towards you or towards him?
Towards him.
Okay, and then what did he do?
Huh? I'm trying to picture it in my mind because he said they was close. So damn near shoulder to shoulder. Hood, he right-handed. So you gotta turn your body. Bam. She falls towards him. When the impact center this way?
And he pulled the gun up like that and shot her again.
All right, did he
Right
shoot her
there.
from, now she's on the ground,
Mm-hmm. And he shot her from like almost the same spot as he was when he shot her.
or did he reach down and he put it in her mouth?
No, he didn't put it in her mouth. He shot her from away.
You're sure?
Mhm.
You're absolutely positive?
I'm positive. He was like 3 to 4 feet away from her when he shot her, but he was standing straight up, 2 hands, shot her like that.
Mhm.
It wasn't put in her mouth and then shot.
Okay. You're absolutely positive he was about 3 feet away from her?
Mm-hmm.
All right, now when did you see, and you saw that shot go
I
off?
saw the second shot.
Okay, what was the impact to her?
And it like hit her right here, and it looked like it just completely blew her face up. Like jaw was hanging low, or than it's supposed to be. It looked like it dislocated that. Blew like all the cheek and skin off of that. It was just messy.
Despite several attempts to get Connor to confess, the 16-year-old stood his ground that he was nothing more than a victim, hoping to ease the detectives' suspicions. But what he didn't know was that the detectives would soon receive a call that would eventually turn this case around.
Hello?
Hi, Miss Souther.
Yes, sir.
It's Detective Bowers.
Hi, I'm glad you called back.
I've just been busy. I'm sorry it took so long.
Charles knows more than he told you yesterday.
Of course.
What's going on?
He says he knows the kid that did it and that he was there when it happened.
He said he was there.
It's too late. It's too late, nigga. No, nigga. I'm not about to let you spin this on me. It's too late. We will never truly know the truth, bro, because both of these niggas could be lying. They really could have been in cahoots like, yeah, bro, let's just do this, da-da-da-da-da-da. Because I still haven't found a motive. What is the motive? Why are you doing this? Why? Bro, what kind of accident is this? Anyway, let's go.
When it happened?
Yes, sir.
Who did he say did?
He's right here. Would you like to talk with him?
Sure.
What do you think he's going to say?
You can say I did
Not
it.
in my name. I was the only person there with him.
And sometimes you don't need friends.
Yes, sir. Charles? Yes, sir. What's going on?
I know it's good.
Charles? Sure.
Call back.
I've just been busy. I'm sorry it took so long.
Charles knows more than he told you yesterday.
What's going on?
He says he knows the kid that did it and that he was there when it happened.
Nigga, why are
He
you
was there when it
replaying this?
happened.
I
Yes, sir.
swear I did not touch nothing.
Who did he say did it?
He's right here. Would you like to talk with him?
Sure. Yes, sir. Charles? Yes, sir. What's going on? Charles? Sir. What happened?
A friend that was with me, Connor Pridgeon,
Uh-huh.
he shot my kid.
He shot Makia? Connor did? Charles?
Sir.
And you
You
were
should have said
there?
that first.
Yes, sir.
And when Connor was confronted with this, things started to get a little more interesting.
Start. These things just only get deeper.
Yeah. Is there a way we can do a polygraph test or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm willing to do that, because this is bullshit. I've witnessed him shoot her. I'm done with this shit. It's been too emotional for me. I haven't had any sleep, no food all day. I'm not dicking with this anymore.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is bullshit. And he's supposed to be a good friend of mine, and then he's gonna say and put it all on me like I did.
Fool, you supposed to be a good friend of his, and you were doing the same shit. Again, I do not know at this time Who did what? We do not know. We hopefully get a resolution, but bro, both of y'all could be capping.
Did it. I shot her.
But
I
you
didn't
know,
even
he's
have
gonna
a...
At this point, it was evident that Connor would do just about anything to avoid getting in trouble. Unfortunately for him, there was nothing he could do now, as the detectives were getting closer to uncovering what really happened that day. When the police brought Charles in for questioning, they wasted no time confronting him about what he had said on the phone.
Let's
You
go,
start
Charles.
From the time you got out of school yesterday and kind of walk me through what happened.
When we got out of school, Connor said Makia wanted to come with us to go smoke.
Okay, what time was that?
Okay, that makes sense.
Just right after, well, during 6th period, he told me.
Mm-hmm.
And then we left around like 3:30 to go over to the gym, because I need to go pick my book bag up. And we drove around. I let him out on the other side of the gym so he can go get her. I went over to the softball field just to see what's going on over there. Softball practice. Got a couple friends over there. And Connor walked out with her, and they got in. And we went to Old Kings. There's a store over there.
Mm-hmm.
And
is it on Old Kings?
yeah, it's on Old Kings. As soon as you turn,
Is it a convenience store or a grocery store or what?
it's kind of like a grocery store
Okay.
or like a convenience store.
All right.
Gas station.
So what happened when you got there?
I dropped him off, and he bought the cigars. And me and Makia went around the corner. She gave me oral. And then we came back, picked him up. And then our normal spot to smoke, they opened up like a little business pot because there was an empty building, but we didn't want nobody to see us there because we're in UC uniform, or he was, and he offered to go to the mud pit down there in Powers. I said, alright, that's cool. So we went down there by the softball field, or baseball field, and there's a little back road. We took that all the way down, and we stopped by a little power plant or whatever, and we got out and started smoking, carrying on the conversation, and she turned around and looked at the trains, and Connor was right next to me, and he pulled out a gun, and I reached for it, and he shot it.
Not only did Charles explain how Connor had been responsible for Makia's death, but he also claimed that Connor had threatened to kill him if anyone ever found out. But, just like Connor, he somehow absolves himself of any involvement.
The 44 Magnum, yeah, it's black, has a brown handle. I think it is.
Okay. You know what kind it is?
No, sir. It's a revolver.
Okay.
Brown with what kind of handle?
I think a brown, or no, the
gun
itself was black.
The gun is black
And
with a
the
brown
grip,
handle.
yes, sir.
The wood.
Yes, sir.
A gun before?
Yes, sir. A couple days ago, he showed it to me
Where?
in my truck. He had it in his backpack.
What, school?
Yes, sir.
Really?
I don't know why though.
They don't take your backpacks or anything at school?
No, sir.
No? And you said on the phone that you said you knew where you got it from?
Yes, sir.
Where?
Daniel Cumby, that's one of my friends. His dad has a gun like that. And he said, Connor said he took it from Daniel.
You say when he took it?
It was during like a ski trip. Daniel and his girlfriend or whatever, family, went on a ski trip, and he went in and got it.
You know how long ago that was?
Well, I don't know.
What do you think he's gonna tell me?
He didn't shoot her. That story I tried to tell you yesterday was true.
What was that?
Hanging around the weight room. Went over to the weight room 3 o'clock. Went over to third class for 4 till 4. And I went home at 4:30.
Did y'all rehearse that story? Did y'all rehearse that story?
Yes, sir. He told me that I dropped him off at the weight room at 4. And then headed from third class.
Note that there's no real emotion in Charles's voice, as he describes the murder of someone who was supposedly his close friend. And during the police's earlier investigations, they had visited Charles in his home and found bloodstains on his shoe, but he remained disturbingly indifferent. Now more than ever, the detectives didn't believe him, but they left the matter for the time being and switched to a different topic. Once again, though, the conversation didn't go as they were likely expecting.
You need to stand
Just
up,
tell
but
us
don't
the
throw
truth
us
what
up.
happened. You know, if you was outside and you were playing with a 44 Magnum and you had it cocked and it went off and you shot her by accident, well then just tell us.
But don't,
You know, but don't try to pin it on somebody that had nothing to do with it.
Now you're only making a bad situation worse.
Yeah, because we've got people that's already said you bragged about having a 44. You showed it to people that you had it in your truck. Connor wasn't around. I mean, come on, dude. Everything points at you. Everything points at you. Nothing points at Connor, but you. You're pointing at him because you don't want to take the blame for something you did.
And if it
I
was
didn't do it. Did you go to his house and look?
Charles, are you listening to what we're telling you?
No.
If something
Yeah, I know,
happened,
it
if
don't
something
sound
happened
right,
by
but-
it don't sound right, and if something happened by accident, and it wasn't intentional, we told you this before. You know, this stuff needs to come out. You know, we can't spoon feed it to you. But this would be a very hard sell for anybody because his mama is all over him because she doesn't want him falling back into the problems he had last year. Mama's gonna know if he's got something like that because Mama's on top of him and she hauls him back and forth to school. You can't hide a 44 Magnum in a backpack.
Well, he did.
Never mind, I'm gonna let it go.
That blue backpack. You tell me that backpack's not big enough
And
to hold that
then
in?
someone who he has no affair with, no relationship whatsoever, that he knows her in school, is gonna suddenly just brutally kill her. And it's not even an accident. He murdered her, and that's what you're telling us.
Yes, sir.
So can you explain why you bragged about having a 44 Magnum and people saw
You
the
were in
gun
possession
in
with
your
it,
truck
and you
that
showed
you
it to
pulled
me.
it out and showed it?
I did not. I don't know.
So all these
those
people
people
are
lied
lying.
too.
They're-
Those people lied.
These people are lying against you. Nobody says Connor has anything. Connor don't have a gun. Nobody sees Connor with a gun. Nobody has Connor bragging about a gun. But they come in and say, Charles is bragging about having a 44 Magnum. Charles showed the 44 Magnum in his truck on J-Ray to me. I saw it Tuesday before Makia got killed.
And you know that we've talked to Connor.
Despite being told that his story was nonsense and that blaming Connor wouldn't work, Charles remained adamant, insisting he was the innocent one.
I'm 54 years old.
Damn.
Think about how many years just to me get my age and you're still there. Life is not 25 years and then you get parole. Not on a murder. Life is life. That's your life. Now, you want to take that risk on this concocted story.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Oh, he's wild.
Don't feel bad down the road.
Seeing that he was determined to stick to his lies, the detectives took a bold step and put the two suspects face to face in the interrogation room, hoping that the tension and conflicting stories would force one of them to crack.
Fight.
I want you to tell him what you're telling us.
I've never seen him attack her before.
You shot her. And I went for the gun.
Bro.
That's it. And you told me when we got back in the truck, if I tell anybody, you gonna shoot me next.
How would I shoot you if I didn't have a gun?
You do.
I've got the gun that is at my house, and I already turned that into the officers. It's not gonna match anything that was shot with her. You had the gun, you shot her first, point blank range to the temple.
Soon after, Charles and Connor were questioned at the same time,
Ain't
and
no
that's when
fucking
the
way, boy.
chilling truth of what had happened slowly began to unfold.
About it. And all we wanted to do was sort out, because we knew both of you were involved. We just had to figure out who was going to carry the murder. Because we knew the first shot didn't do her. She could have survived it. Could have survived it. It was the second shot. She never stood a prayer. And it was the second shot that did so much damage to her. Her family can never look at her. All those detectives beating those bushes and talking to those businesses and getting all that film footage and talking to all those kids at that school wasn't for naught. We knew what we had. And you're right. He shot her first.
Shot her second.
What I want to know, was your shot an accident? Look at me.
Because I already thought she was dead when he shot her. He didn't shoot her on accident. He had the gun pointed straight at her head.
Well, why'd you shoot her?
What?
Why did you shoot her?
Because I just wanted to get out of there. I had the...
Why couldn't you just tell us that?
Huh?
Why couldn't you just tell us that?
Because it was obviously going to look bad on me, and I had no intention on killing her.
Did you intend to kill her?
No, sir.
Was it an accident?
Yes, sir. I had the hammer pulled back just to try to scare her. And
What the f... What? Yeah, I guess you gotta teach gun safety early, like middle school, elementary. What the f... Guns are not for playing. Like, what the fuck is wrong with that man said? I just pulled it out to scare her. Why are you trying to scare her? We are smoking marijuana. Why are you trying to scare somebody like that? You dumb. I don't even condone that. Even if there was no bullets in the weapon. What are you doing?
slipped.
Was this whole thing an accident? Did you mean to kill her?
No, sir.
Nobody
I did not
meant to kill her.
Were you scared she was going to say something?
I didn't know that she was alive anyway.
You just wanted to see what it looked like if you shot her?
No, I didn't I was just fucking around with it, and I knew that she got hit, and I didn't know whether she was alive or dead, but I figured she was probably dead, so I just popped the second round, not even thinking about it.
Okay.
But
okay,
there was never any intention to kill anybody.
Okay. Is that true?
Life.
Yes, sir.
Can you show me where the gun's at?
Yes, sir.
Is it in a place that anybody could find it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that's what I'm concerned about. Is it falling in the wrong hands?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Although the detectives now have what seemed to be a confession, they needed to be sure that what they were saying was true. After explaining how they had bumped into Makia and persuaded her to join them for a smoke session in the woods near their school, Charles was asked to describe what happened after they arrived.
All right. Just for clarification so you can get it on your notes. Where were you standing? Say I'm her. Okay, where were you standing when you had the gun?
Right here.
All right, you were standing that close or closer?
No, it was about right here.
He's
Okay.
about 6-7 feet away from her.
That far away? Okay, and did she
was
turn her
trying-
head this way? Or did she turn her whole body?
At first, she turned her back. That's when I was messing with it.
Okay.
She turned her back, and then I said, "Hey, Makia." I was pointing. She didn't think much of it, and she looked that way, and
She didn't think
I
dumbass.
didn't catch the hammer or anything or something, and I pulled the trigger and shot her in the
Now you
cheek.
said it scared her, right? When
Yeah.
she looked back and saw the gun?
Mhm.
And it,
But she thought I was messing around,
okay.
which I was. So
Okay, how much time do you think? From the time that she turns back, and show me the gun, where was that?
right here.
All right, so she turns back and sees the gun,
Yeah,
and then she jumped back?
a little bit. I mean, she didn't.
Okay, and then she's looking at it?
Yeah.
How
She
long do
looks
you
at
think
it.
before the gun went off?
About 2 seconds, maybe.
2 seconds. Bro, that's enough time to point the gun downward. That's enough time to move the gun that way. You're a dickhead. Like, bro, he's a dickhead.
Okay, okay. And there was this distance?
Yeah, pretty much.
It wasn't any closer?
No.
I mean, it's It's not really germane. I'm just trying to get an idea.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay, and then she went what? She fell?
Yeah, she fell back down that way.
Okay. So when she fell down, and then you went to the front of the truck?
Yes, sir. I went around the front.
Okay. I just need to clarify.
Gun is something you
Okay.
don't intend to shoot.
All right, man. Hang tight.
Hello.
Throughout the investigation, they both stuck to their story, insisting that what happened to Makia was just a terrible mistake. Further investigations revealed that Connor's gun, which he claimed his mother had given him, was stained with blood, and fragments found in Makia's wounds matched those fired from that very revolver. With the mounting evidence against them, both boys were taken into custody and would face serious charges. However, later that year in October, Connor, through his attorney, was offered a deal to share what he knew with the authorities in an attempt to seek a more lenient sentence for his crimes. They hoped he would finally come to his senses and reveal the shocking truth behind their evil act, but they had no idea how far he was willing to go to hide how twisted he really was.
First of all, take me back to the guns.
The guns.
Yeah.
We were
When did you first become aware of them?
months beforehand, when Daniel Cumby was showing them to me and Cody Green, I believe, were in the room. He brought us upstairs. It was in his parents' bedroom closet, and showed it to me. It was obviously the 44 Magnums, both the Smith and the Ruger Red Hawk, and Astra something.
You're pretty good with guns. You got a fascination with guns. You like to shoot and stuff.
I wouldn't say a fascination with guns, but I know about them.
Okay. So you go out with your family and you go out shooting and stuff on the weekends?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, did you ever discuss with Daniel taking the guns?
No, we never told him anything about taking the guns.
Okay. Now, where were they kept? In the closet up in the bathroom upstairs?
Yes, sir.
The parents' bedroom?
It's like a bathroom closet and a toolbox.
Okay. Was the toolbox locked or unlocked?
It was unlocked.
It was unlocked?
It was like a latch. Like, you know how most old toolboxes have a latch?
Mm-hmm.
It had no lock on it, but it was...
Just a latch?
Yeah. I just flipped the latch open like he showed it to me.
It was open and available?
Mm-hmm. With boxes of ammo.
Were the boxes of ammo in the same box with the gun,
No,
or in a separate box?
They're in a separate box.
He starts by detailing how he had stolen the 2 revolvers from their friend's bathroom when no one was around, with Charles acting as the lookout. They then took the guns to their houses until they would use them on Makia the following week. Next, he was asked how and why Makia became involved in the first place, but the story he told was totally unbelievable.
Kia.
Why Makia?
Mm-hmm.
He had gotten in a fight with her at school. It wasn't a physical fight, but it was more of like an argument in which he had said that she was messing around with another different kid by the name of Brad Graham or Brad Sutton, one of the two, who's also in our grade, in 10th grade, and he was already messing around with other girls, but he got mad when she started messing around with other guys, and that's when he brought it up after he and her got into an argument in third classroom.
And when did that take place?
That had to have been probably the Tuesday or Monday before.
All right, you say by an argument. Did the other people hear it?
They had to have heard it. Charles told me about it, and Threadcraft said that they had gotten into it in the middle of the classroom. Like it was on a break or something. We always eat lunch in Threadcraft's classroom every day. There's always a group of us who, instead of eating in the cafeteria. But
do you remember when we talked before and I asked you what his relationship was to her? And I believe at the time you said that she liked him, but he didn't like her.
It was like do
you remember that?
Honestly, I remember it.
Was that a lot?
I think he liked her more than I let on, because he obviously was jealous when she was messing around with other guys. I think more than him liking her, he didn't like the idea of messing around with her right after she messed around with somebody else.
Connor, once again, began to stray from the truth. It was hard to believe that Makia was killed out of jealousy, especially when previous interviews suggested she had only a casual relationship with Charles. Naturally, the police and prosecutor didn't buy his story and decided to probe further for more details.
The guns were taken, that was the first discussion that you had with Charles about shooting Makia.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Specifically, where did this conversation take place?
In his truck.
Okay.
After school when we were going to Old Kings.
Okay. And what specifically did he say? Best words that came out of his mouth. What did he say about shooting Makia on Friday? This would have been before going to Cumby's house, I guess, right?
No, we didn't go to Cumby's house. I went to Cumby's house on Friday, but he like, we were going to Old Kings so I could pick up a cigarillo for me and Cumby so we could smoke.
And did he say in that ride over to the store?
That was the same day, conversation where we both said we had an interest in shooting somebody before we went into the Marine Corps. That he mentioned the argument that they got into it about, and that it was more of a thing of opportunity than like anything else. It was more like she comes with us every day, like, not every day, but whenever she wants to, she comes with us to perform oral sex on Charles and get a smoke from Old Kings. And he had said it didn't really nail it down till we planned it out, but he said that it would be a perfect thing because it was a crime of opportunity.
Okay. After she asked, he tells you, okay, I'm going to shoot her today.
Yeah.
What's your reaction?
I was like, I wanted to go out there with him. I didn't plan on shooting at all, but I planned on going out there with him to see it. Because we had already talked about a curiosity in it or whatnot.
Okay, so he's telling you he's going to kill your friend, and you're thinking, hey, this sounds like something cool I'm going to watch.
It sounds bad, but that's honest.
Okay.
Even if Charles had indeed instigated their plan, it came as a surprise as to how calm Connor seemed about it from the start. However, he went on to explain how, after the shooting, he had discarded her jacket while Charles washed the truck, and they later agreed to claim it was an accident. But as Connor described how Makia was shot, the detective noticed even more inconsistencies in his story.
Before you actually did the deed.
Yeah, because he was like, why don't you shoot her? She's already dead. It's not like I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't plan on shooting anybody when I went out there. I planned on just watching it go down.
You remember when we've talked every other time you said it was almost instantaneous.
Yeah, every other time we talked, I was sort of worried about saving my ass and not getting arrested.
Okay. But it was some period of time and thought before you actually pulled the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then when you
I had to get the gun out of the truck before I even did anything. It's not like I had it in my waistband like he did.
Did you have the gun? And you confused me there by saying.
Yeah, you did, because earlier you said that after you saw that he had his gun, you went to the truck and got your gun out.
No, after he shot her, I went into the truck and got my gun out.
Okay.
And that may have just been us misunderstanding what you were saying, but the way it sounded to us just a few minutes ago was that you got your gun out before the first shot was fired.
No.
That when he sort of showed you his gun or made some motion with his gun and gave you a look, that's when you got your gun out, took it out of the holster and put it in your pants.
He had made a look and showed me his gun, and I knew it was gonna go down. At that point, I went to go. I was like going there. I was lighting up my smoke. I was actually pissing right there, which wasn't the greatest idea to do at a crime scene, but I was pissing on the front side of the truck, which is why she didn't realize me going into the truck or anything. I was sitting over there. I just lit up a smoke. The first shot goes off. I open the car door under there, grab that, had it like that.
Connor, let me stop you for a second. And the video that we have running right now is going to show what you just told us. Okay, let me be specific with you, because I'm a detail guy. I remember details well, and I have a really good memory. It's part of the reason why I like doing my job. What you just told me 4 minutes ago was that when the first shot was fired, you pulled your gun out because you were jumping.
And you pulled it out.
And now you're telling me that you got the gun out of the car after she was down on the ground.
Like what?
You see, Connor, the whole reason in this, you're taking this whole scenario and you're creating things as you go along. You did this before many times, and this is any credibility that you're trying to give us, that all that you're telling us is true, you're washing out the window.
It's like,
because you've changed your story in here.
Hold on a second.
You can't do that.
He and I are going to walk out this door. You're going to have a conversation with Miss Taylor here, okay? I'm not playing these games, son. Okay? I don't play this. All right? It's clear to me that you're making shit up as you go along. Okay? I need you to sit there, think about what you're going to say, and then when we come back in here, you're going to tell us the truth.
Man, I need a
All right?
story.
Right now, I think you're lying to me. And trust me, you're the last person in this room you want to believe that you're lying.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Fed up with his lies, the detective walks out of the room. Not only had Connor just lied about going to retrieve his gun after Charles fired the first shot, but he also denied being closer than 6 feet when he fired his own. After his lawyer berated him for lying, the detectives returned and decided to confront Connor with their findings, hoping to finally break through his web of deceit.
Said this to a jury on many occasions. Witnesses can lie, they can cheat, they can steal, they can taint their testimony or whatever they want to say. If they have an interest, they'll taint it towards their interest.
Mm.
But the physical evidence cannot lie. I have a trained medical examiner who's going to say your shot was pressed up against her face. Physical, scientific evidence, a doctor who's done this for years is going to come in and is going to say that shot was pressed against her face. And what you've told me from where you're standing and how her face was is inconsistent with the trajectory of the bullet. We recovered 1 bullet from her head.
Yeah, his shot was straight through.
Yeah.
That's point blank and went straight through.
The 1 bullet that we recovered from her head was your bullet.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And where it entered the body and where it ended up couldn't have been fired from where you're saying you were standing and where you were aiming from 6 feet away. It can't happen.
I admitted to moving from that spot right there. I'm saying I moved, but I did not.
The shot was here, son. Okay.
How's he still lying?
You just told me her face was down, her right side of her face was lying on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The shot was here, pushed up off the corner, almost to the point where the medical examiner didn't even notice it was a gunshot wound because when it entered, it was at the crease of her mouth. Okay? And the bullet went upward with the gases going upward, blowing out her nose, her eyes, her entire facial area. Okay, which means the trajectory was entry here and blowing up here.
Mm-hmm.
What you just told me is impossible for that shot to occur. This isn't JFK. This isn't the magic bullet scenario. It's impossible for you to be standing 6 feet away with the left side of her face facing you because she's lying on the ground, and for that shot to enter in the way it did. It's impossible. And to cause the damage,
right side of the mouth and going upward.
and to cause the damage that it caused to her face. There's going to be a doctor who has no interest in this case, who's going to say, what you just told us is bullshit.
I don't want to lie to you and tell you that I did put it up to her face.
I understand you don't want to do that, but what you're telling me isn't consistent with the physical evidence.
At that point, his lawyer again was forced to add a comment before he began to tell some form of truth.
Interject. We talked about this multiple times. Obviously, you've given them the whole story up to now, okay? Just, you don't need to cover anything. Just tell them exactly. And if that's not what happened, then tell them. But tell them exactly where you put the gun when you fired it and how close you were to her.
It was anywhere from 6 feet to 3 feet. I wasn't any closer. It definitely wasn't point blank to her face. I never got that close to her. There wasn't any footprints around her that close because I never got in within a certain amount of feet from her. I was worried about hair getting on her, like I didn't want there to be any evidence of me being close to her about it. I didn't put the gun to her face. I didn't do anything. I shot straight down, both hands, directly into it.
Was her face pointing toward the ground or pointing up towards you?
It was probably pointing up towards me when I shot, but when I actually looked at her, like her face was on the ground. Like after it happened, and like when my shot hit, it like blew all this part out. So
Blew up most of her face?
And I wouldn't say most of it, but it did a lot of damage. It did a lot more than his shot did.
Okay.
A week later, Charles's attorney also managed to secure a proffer agreement for him, and after being warned about how whatever he says could affect him, he starts by confirming Connor's story of how they had gotten the guns from Combi's house. And as he explained the events leading up to the death of Makia, the shocking truth eventually comes to light.
Thank God.
Detective Bowers Rogers was asking you, we were looking for guns. Explain that to me. Why were you looking for guns?
About a week before all this happened, I wasn't working as much. Everything slowed down. I wasn't working. And I told Connor one day when we were smoking cigars that, I ain't got much money now, And he told me about robbing people. And he told me about a drug dealer that he had a lot of money.
What was that?
I don't know.
For teens who came from supportive families with the means to send them to a private school, it came as a shock when Charles said they wanted to become robbers to buy things. But what made it even more baffling was his next revelation.
We're talking about robbing people, and he said, there'd be some things that you gotta do, like shooting people or stuff like that, holding up people. And he asked if I was about that, if I would do it.
Sir, you don't have to shoot people to rob them. You catch them lacking at the perfect opportunity. If they got a gun, then you gonna have to up that muff. But bro, if you catch them lacking with the element of surprise, bro, you can rob them without shooting them. You just still need the gun though.
I said, yeah. So we're sitting in lunch, and he said, are we gonna do it? Because she was like an easy target, so.
Oh.
Micaiah.
Yeah, and
You had to shoot somebody, and you were telling him, you were assuring him that you could.
Yeah.
Now, did he have his gun that day as well?
Yeah, in his backpack.
All through school?
All through school.
And how do you know that?
Because he told me.
All right, now, on Tuesday, let me back up a little bit. Tuesday, when you had your gun, had y'all planned on doing anything on Wednesday?
No.
What prompted him to bring his gun on Wednesday?
That Wednesday we were going to go out and shoot it.
So y'all had already talked about on Tuesday that you were going to get together on Wednesday and shoot the guns?
Yeah.
All right. So go back. You're in the lunchroom. Connor approaches you that you may have to shoot somebody in the course of a robbery. Are you man enough to do it? Basically?
That was one of those days when we were smoked. That's when we discussed it all.
Prior to Wednesday? Okay. Then on Tuesday, y'all both decided you can bring your guns into school and you're going to go out shoot on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. On Tuesday, when y'all were making those decisions, had you already targeted Micaiah as the target?
That was at lunch. He said, Micaiah was going to be there.
Now, this is on Wednesday, y'all decided that Micaiah's going to come with you?
Yeah.
And is that the first time you actually decided she was going to be your first target?
Yeah.
Okay. It was on Wednesday that day?
It was on Wednesday that day.
And who suggested, of the two of you, that Micaiah be the target?
It was me and him.
You pushed both of you together?
Both, yeah.
Were you angry at her, or did you see her as an easy target? Someone to shoot?
Yeah, someone to shoot.
Okay. Now,
I wasn't mad or anything.
The kill for kicks plot stunned the detectives, especially since neither of the boys had a criminal record or any apparent reason to commit such a crime. But as the interview continued, the real depth of their twisted plan soon emerged.
What plan?
Do more of it.
more killing?
Not that in particular, but robbing people and hurting people to get money.
Okay.
That probably would have led to.
Y'all got no money throughout this whole entire scheme. Y'all actually wasted money. And your lives. And Micaiah's lives. Both of you are idiots. Evil twin idiots.
Killings.
But basically, it was money backed. I mean, that was the actual motive was to get money.
In the end, it was evident that Charles Southern and Connor Pridgeon took it, in turn, to shoot defenseless Makia Coney in the head. They would have faced the death penalty, applied only in first-degree murder cases, but since they were juveniles, they were sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to a second-degree murder charge.
I know it's sad because they minors is like, they 15, they had a whole life ahead of them, but like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Y'all were at private school. You say, damn, bro, I'm running out of money. How about you stop smoking weed Okay. Or, even better plan, you still gonna smoke the weed, right? How about you just sell some of the weed that you're smoking? All I'm saying is, right, you got enough money to get weed. You got enough money to put gas in your truck. Maybe you just not using your money right. You not running out of money. And the fact that you say, yeah, let's go rob people. Well, Connor said it, but then you said, yeah, that sounds good. Huh? Y'all would have been better off. Y'all would have been better off trying to pawn or sell the guns that y'all stole. And that isn't a good plan either. Like, anyway, this was senseless. Like, Makia lost her life because she associated with two idiots. Morons. Rest in peace, Makia. Condolences to her family. This is the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. And hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop on this channel. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe, y'all.
I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, ain't to live is to come. All this pain got me feeling the compass. See, these can't turn me into a monster. Hey, I'm a cowboy, can't stop me, to live is to come. All this pain got me feeling the compass. See, these can't turn me into a monster. I'm a cowboy, can't stop. Hey, all that pain got me feeling jaded. Many to roll in the making. Feel plugged into the mix. But lagging out before the update. Drop back in, different times, same location.